Welcome to the Adam Rothstein Hockey Podcast. This is your podcast for all things hockey. On this podcast, we talk about past history to the modern day and what you can do to grow the sport. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, November 5th, and even though this is going to go out on November 6th, this is going to be mostly about the San Jose Sharks, if not all about the San Jose Sharks. Where do I begin with this? Honestly? Because J.D. Young, I believe his name is, the host of the Locked On Sharks podcast, he hosted a therapy session after that 10-1 loss against it's now I can't even keep track of it. It's so bad. They lost because they also lost 10-2 to the Penguins. They lost 10-1 to the Canucks. And I'll give the Canucks credit here. They have actually been pretty good this year, but even the Sharks shouldn't be losing 10-1 like this. And then I thought, maybe this is just a one-time fluke that they gave up 10 goals. No! Crosby and the Penguins were able to get 10 goals on them, and even though Sidney Crosby didn't score, he had one assist for the whole game in his 1,200th game. The Penguins were able to put up 10, and thank you to Malkin and Riley Smith. Now I'm wearing a San Francisco Giants t-shirt because I don't have anything of the San Jose Sharks paraphernalia, and I don't think anyone right now wants to be associated with them. They are 0-10-1. They have lost 11 games, and I guess we'll give them the point too, but they lost 11 games. They do not have anything in the win column. They have not received the full 2 points yet. That is pathetic. And headphones here. And guess who they have coming down the pipe for their next 3 games? They have to deal with the other Pennsylvania team coming in to their building. They have to deal with the Oilers, and then they have to go to Vegas to go play the potential Stanley Cup champions, who are probably going to win it again. They're probably going to win it again. And if the Vegas Golden Knights get like 15-0 on them, if that's like the final score, I think Bettman needs to intervene at that point and just like do something. Get Joe Thornton on the team at this point. And honestly, where's Phil Kessel? I don't even know where he is. And the Sharks don't want to pick him up, or does he not want to play for them? I don't even know what's going on with him. He should be the face of the organization at this point. But that's just sad at this point. Goalies getting pulled left and right in San Jose. There was an 8-year-old kid, I believe he was about 8 years old, and he held up a sign that's saying that this is my first Sharks game. And he was kind of sad too. And I feel for him because the Maryland college basketball team, when I was 8 years old, lost in the semifinals, and I was crying my eyes out. And I was home. I was at the college basketball game, but that was a tough loss to take, but it was close. That's not even a hockey game at that point. It's like a bad baseball game. It's like my old high school game where we lost 10-0 against Churchill, and Zach Arden, who's been on the podcast, checked me for the final play of the game, and we lost that 10-0. hey, at least they're not getting shut out as some San Jose Sharks fans would say. So there's that as well. Sidney Crosby playing his 1200th game. Very few get to that point, and he has the most points on of active players right now. There's that. I'm gonna also and him with Letang and Malkin. I mean, they're the three, most well-recognized names of the Penguins over the last 10 plus years, with the exception of maybe Jordan Staal and Marc-Andre Fleury. So there's that. Phil Kessel. Yeah, is Phil Kessel still playing? I'm actually going to Google this. And so, still playing hockey. Yeah. Kessel is yet to find a team for the 2023-24 season. Can San Jose? Yeah. So I was just making sure of this, so I was not going crazy here, because at this point, Phil Kessel needs to get on a team, and the San Jose Sharks don't want to pick him up at this point. I know this is a rebuilding year, and they may want to get the #1 draft pick, but they are not taking on Kessel. They're not going to phone him up and just say, hey, clean up your diet and get back to work, and you're getting on the first line. And they don't want to even call him up at this point. Maybe you'll get a few more extra butts in seats, but at this point, you have to try anything. Like, call him up at this point. It's a shame. It's bad enough he didn't get to play for the Golden Knights in one of their Stanley Cup finals, and this is a legend, and his I guess his total record was ruined officially during the start of this season, and he's not on a team, and they don't want to pick him up. That's shameful. I don't care if they're in last place. They need, like, Phil Kessel was a star. He can get back to the star power, and they can still market him. He has been with the Penguins, the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and the Coyotes, the Maple Leafs, as you know, I call the Maple Leafs the Maple Loafs at this point. San Jose should pick up Phil Kessel, and it's pretty shameful what they that they're not even. Has anyone called him and just said, "Hey, you want to play in the NHL again? You want to make money again? Like, does he not want to make millions again? Like, even if he had to take a pay cut, I think $1 million is better than zero when you were making maybe $2 million, in the previous years or so, or a little more than $2 million. Phil Kessel was a star. He needs to get back out there. He really does, and it's I don't even know, he could be the guy to go get some goals, at this point, and Anthony Duclair is not going to be their ace, at this point. I mean, San Jose has looked like they don't even want to play at this point. And with their game against Vancouver, they didn't even, the defensemen weren't even there to really just, shove around and just said, hey, come on, knock it off, sort of thing. And just get in your opposing, the opposing team's face and say, not on my goalie, you don't. They're not even doing that. They're not even losing as a team at this point. It's really shameful too. And there's only so much Mackenzie Blackwood could do at this point. And they were outshot, 10 shots last night against Pittsburgh. And remember, this is on a Sunday, by the way, that I'm recording this on. So on Saturday night, they were outshot by like 10 goals. To clear that up, I don't know what to think of the team at this point, but Philadelphia is not going to waste an opportunity to go on the to go on the offensive and try and get back to 500 at this point, or try and move up in their respective standings too. And the Oilers with Draisaitl and McDavid, Connor McJesus, you think they want to swallow the pill of losing to the Sharks? No one's going to go into the building at this point and just say, hey, we're not going, we're going to be playing our hearts out. And maybe that is what is happening here. But, the Sharks should have never let it get to this point. They should have never let it get to this point. They could have went with Kessel as a star. And like, they must really want this number one draft pick so badly, because they're just willing to lose everything at this point. They might lose all 82 games at this point. If they lost all 82 games at this point, there is, I think you could just say that they are just, they've intentionally lost it. They're not serious people. I know they're not getting shut out right now, even against the Canucks, which are a surprisingly good team at this point. They did beat the Oilers, and yet the Oilers are down in the dumps with the Flames and yours truly, the San Jose Sharks, even though they've got like 2 wins on the season. They're going to want to, they're supposed to be in the playoffs this year. They were projected to go to the playoffs this year. They're not losing. They don't want to swallow the pill of losing to the Sharks as well. And now we've got to even ask the question of, are they going to even be able to win a game before the All-Star break at this point? I'm actually going to look up the All-Star game right now, because I don't have it in exact for the NHL date. I don't even have. Okay, it's not that bad, and guess what? They don't have to travel too far to go to that at this point. It's February 2nd and February 3rd. I thought this would be in January, but at this point, you can't be surprised. At this point, let's take a look at what they're going to be facing from February before they get into February. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys in a moment. Chrome. Okay, and you see here on these, as we are here on the Google, we've got them losing here. So they've got to take. So the Ducks actually came back against the Penguins, and the Penguins just clobbered the Sharks 10-2 right now. So I'm not sure how they're going to handle themselves against the Ducks. And then the Panthers roll into town, and and I think they actually already beat them. Yeah, they beat them 3-1. So maybe they could, and that's not even a bad score, 3-1 to lose by. It's not, but I'm not so certain at this point that if anyone wants to even swallow it at this point. St. Louis might lose to them at home. They maybe, but they're barely filling 10,000 seats at home, regardless of what happens. Is it going to be, is their home base even going to be enough there? Then they have to go into Vancouver after that. And then they take on the Kraken in Seattle, and then Les Canadiens, Suzuki, will be in in the Shark Tank there, and then the Canucks are back in the Shark Tank there. The Capitals go into San Jose, and maybe they'll pull something from behind. And oddly enough, I thought the Capitals should have been the ones to lose to them, but some weirdo by the name of Tom Wilson said not today, and they give up 3 goals in with 15 minutes left to go. So within that last 15-minute spread, then the Sharks have to go into Boston. Boston is about the second best team in the league right now. I think Vegas is just beating them by a point or so right now. So don't quote me on anything yet, because this is being recorded on Sunday and things are subject to change. Then they have to go into New Jersey, and the Devils could beat them up even without Jack Hughes. At this point, then the Sharks have to go face the Rangers with Panera Bread and Adam Fox and Mika Zibanejad. And then their New York, then their tri-state area road trip continues. They go into Long Island and they face off against Barzy and Sorokin again. So, and then Sharks go into Detroit. Hopefully they take on Larkin, and but I don't see them winning there, and I certainly don't see them winning in Vegas there. Okay, so we're into mid-December here. Where can they pick a win? Jets? Maybe they can beat the Jets, and they got a dub. Coyotes, maybe they'll beat the Coyotes there, and the Avalanche, they at least, that's the only team, that's where they got their only point, was by taking Colorado to a shootout. And it's shameful they did not get the extra point on that one. The Kings. Kings were doing pretty good. They were looking like they could still be into playoff contention. There's that. Coyotes are away, so maybe the Sharks could get this dub in San Jose, at least against the Coyotes. And if they still can't do it there, then there's a problem. Sharks have to go play the Canucks again. Then they go to LA to play the Kings, and the Kings fans love them more. Then the Oilers play the Sharks again. Sharks go into Colorado after that on December 31st. Before that Winter Classic, then they have to go play. Then the Red Wings come to town in San Jose. Jets come into San Jose one more time. Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews is going to, whatever has happened in any of this span in December, at that point, Austin Matthews is going to just come up and just, he's going to be looking for hat tricks, or like a double hat trick at that point, going into San Jose. And he's certainly not going to take any prisoners when the Sharks come to the Maple Leafs. I say they like maybe they can pull off 3 wins at this point, but from that span, but they, even the Canadians, maybe they beat the Canadians, maybe they pull a rabbit out of their what, and they beat the Canadians. Fine. Okay. So we're rolling on as well. The Senators, maybe they can beat the Senators too there, but the Sharks and the Sabres, I'm taking the Sabres to win that game. Sharks and Blackhawks. With Connor Bedard in Chicago, and he's going to be looking for his first hat trick, even at 18 years old. He's going to be looking for it. You don't think he's going to show up trying to shoot as many pucks as possible on Blackwood at this point? He's taking advantage of it. Then those Matted Ducks coming to San Jose, and then you have January 20th right there, right here, and that is a and I don't expect anything there. I don't expect them to beat the Kings at all this year. Rangers are going to dominate. They're in position to, they're first in the Metro right now. So there's that. And Sabres are going to be looking for, are going to want to keep up the pace. The Kraken want to assure playoff dominance, so I don't see them losing to the Sharks. Sharks and Ducks, still, again, I think the Ducks are starting to figure things out because of their comeback win against Pittsburgh a few nights ago. And the Sharks and the Jets, maybe they beat the Jets at that point. And we're already past the All-Star break after that time. The All-Star game for the NHL is at the Honda Center is there. You also have the Winter Classic during this time. Now, if they get 5 wins, I think that's still going to be surprising. But coming down the pipe here, the Flyers and the Oilers, the Golden Knights, the Ducks, and the Panthers even, certainly. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before they get a dub. Flyers and no one wants to really swallow this at that point. Blues, they may be able to beat the Blues at home. They might be able to do that. Out of all the teams, maybe they'll beat the Blues. And if they can't do it, will they win one before Thanksgiving at this point? I'm not sure at this point. I think if they haven't won a game by Thanksgiving, I think Bettman needs to definitely relegate them to the AHL, and the Bay Area loses another Big Four sports team. I'm going to make a proposal to Gary Bettman at this point. If the San Jose Sharks don't win one by January 1st, I think you need to intervene and put them in the AHL. They don't deserve to have the first round draft pick or the first picks of the year. They don't deserve it. I'm sorry. Put the Checkers in, put the Marlies in, put the Hershey Bears in, put in anyone who's going to be serious on this. Because out west, the Sharks aren't serious. Sharks are not serious at all at this point. If they're going to, they gave up 10 goals to the Penguins. The Penguins are not that good. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say when a team is this bad. The 88 Orioles lost 21 games in a row in baseball. They might lose 21 games in the National Hockey League. That's the equivalent of a Major League Baseball team losing 42 games in a row. Because, a hockey season is half the time of an MLB season. But 10-2 is even a bad baseball score, too. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about the Sharks right now when, if they're not going to be using it to actually win games, maybe the Warriors should move in and go play basketball there at this point. It's free real estate at this point because no one wants to buy that arena at this point with a hockey team that doesn't want to play in the NHL, apparently. What am I supposed to do when you have players with -8s and plus minuses and you've given up 50 goals and we're not even and that's like 5 goals a game at this point, like 50, because you've played 11 games. You've given up 5 goals on average per game. 5 because of that. Because of those 2 games, or you're close to 50. You're close to or you're close to 60 at this point. 40 goals there, and then okay, and then you give up 5 there, and then another thing like yeah, you've given up like about 60 goals at this point. It's pathetic. It's utterly pathetic what they are doing right now, and I don't want to. And I feel bad for the people of San Jose, the Bay Area, and I'm wearing this in solidarity to support you guys and just say that this team stinks. Okay, they are trash. I don't want to deal. I would. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I would like there was a Baltimore radio show that was on the air after like the 10th loss until the Orioles won a game. So maybe that's what we need at this point, for someone in San Jose to go on the radio and just go broadcast until they win a game. They're going to be there. They might be there until Thanksgiving at this point, but I think that's what they need. Go check out Locked On Sharks, their YouTube live stream, if you are a San Jose Sharks fan and you need some therapy, some free therapy over there. With that being said, this has been yours truly, Adam Rothstein, signing out. And check out my links below. Bonus episode will be on Substack, and check out the articles and everything there. With that being said, peace out.